good.
Hello everybody, we are just getting things set up here for our Bracket B Finals with the Hanover Horde A team taking on the Nomads from Franklin, Tennessee. So two of the original teams in the league. Getting ready to meet up here. Just got the invite, going to start pulling people into the lobby. So just give us a few minutes to get set up here. This is the Bracket B Finals, so this will determine rankings going into the North American Finals. This Horde A team is already qualified for finals, but we definitely want to get that top seed going into North American Finals to set themselves up for a good tournament down in Full Sail this summer. So stick with us, we'll be right back. Give us a few minutes to get set up, and we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rotate.
Esports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We're taking that and we're delivering it to elementary and middle school kids.
Alright, push up with me, push up with me.
We're bridging the gap between conventional athletics and competitive gaming. We have kids working on the same technology that the pros are training to improve their skills.
When did you lose? When did you lose? Why did you lose? Like the games that you lost, why did you lose?
Through a partnership with the Positive Coaching Alliance, our coaches go through a double goal certification. They learn not only how to work through the strategies of the different games they're playing, but they also work through how to impact these kids' lives in a positive way. They get to mark and highlight behaviors and attributes that will lead to long-term life skills. We love being battle mercy. No, it's not. Why don't you tell us your favorite move that Murphy does? So what brought me to XP is the experience of my children. I had always hoped and wanted them to be a part of a youth athletics team. So I realized they all love competitive gaming. So why not marry their passion with what I'm hoping for them to learn and achieve and put healthy, solid values in place in something that the kids want to do and are excited about doing.
Yes,
Experience points. Every game awards experience points. And what we built here is an experience.
professional level equipment, the top tier partners in esports. They're also getting the experience of sportsmanship values, of working with mentors and coaches, and of being part of the team. It's all about the experience.
I need you. Nice. Go. Move in now. Push in. Section again. Good game.
Let me show you how the boss does it. We put in work.
See ya.
Ain't no killing infinity. Spilling from the depths of lyrics.
They are nothing to me.
But I think
Alright, welcome back everybody. We are just getting set up for our match. We're actually going to get a headquarters stream, so I will restream that on this channel as well. Just to kind of get you up to date on where we're at, you can see the bracket right in front of me right now. So the Hanover Horde A team has been undefeated through the bracket. They actually defeated the Franklin Nomads in round 3. Nomads had to go down to the consolation bracket, which they managed to beat out the North OC. Really good North OC team there. Probably the Cinderella story of the bracket so far. They really put up a good fight. from out there in California. But the Nomads came out victorious, so they will meet the Hanover Horde in round 1 of the grand finale for this B bracket. So we'll get this thing kicked off here in just shortly. Since the Horde are currently undefeated, if the Nomads do win the first round, this will have to go to a second round because the Horde will have to get 2 losses. So the Horde definitely have the advantage going in, and again, these brackets will determine the ultimate seeding when they get down to North American Finals here in another month or two down at Full Sail University in Florida. So we're gonna wait for headquarters stream to get up. We'll be back here shortly once that gets going, so stick with us.
I'm the coach for XP League, and I'm looking forward to having an impact on these kids' lives. I've been playing video games competitively since 9th grade. I'm now 21 years old, and I've never really got to be a part of a team.
Today you guys are here for tryouts. Now you might be feeling nervous, but don't worry. Everybody makes a team. Tryouts is not about kicking you out if you're not good at the game. The only thing this is about measuring where you are at right now, so we can focus on how we can help you improve throughout the season.
Esports promotes cognition in the sense that there's multiple ways to win a game. There's not one set way that you can win a match. The meta in Overwatch varies. It depends on the game. The games change all the time, and every game is different. It has its own special, unique characteristics.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, scale, handshake.
For our practices, we aren't focused necessarily on who we're playing against, just how we can adapt our strategy towards the game. What we teach the kids when we're coaching is that there's another human being on the other side of that computer, and to treat everyone with respect.
I have my ultimate.
Okay, keep going, keep going.
Both teams putting so much into the fight. We are so close.
Game lets the pros and experience the largest.
Alright, hello everybody. We are just, again, getting this match set up. Again, this is going to be streamed by Headquarters, so I will be helping to kind of just facilitating that stream by just restreaming on this channel for those who are used to watching ours here. So we'll get that started here once the match kicks off. It should just be any minute now. So just stick with us. We'll be right back with the cast and the stream once Headquarters gets it up and running. So stick with us. Please be patient. Thanks a lot.
Love competitive gaming, so why not marry their passion with what I'm hoping for them to learn and achieve, and put healthy, solid values in place in something that the kids want to do and are excited about doing.
Yes, Big Shiva!
Experience points. Every game awards experience points, and what we built here is an experience. Professional level equipment, the top tier partners in esports. They're also getting the experience of sportsmanship values, of working with mentors and coaches, and of being part of the team. It's all about the experience.
I need you. Nice. Go. Group in. Now. Push in. We don't have to get.
Good game.
Welcome back. Here we are with another exciting match. We are in the grand finals for, I believe this is Group A. We have the Franklin Nomads versus the Hanover Horde. This is a rematch from the match that we saw yesterday. Another really, really exciting, awesome match. Franklin Nomads, Hanover Horde. Hanover Horde did take it 2-0, but the Franklin Nomads did not make it easy by any means. They took a couple rounds and definitely kept it close in those fights. So it's going to be really exciting to see the Hanover Horde and Franklin Nomads back at it again in this grand finals. Now that we are grand finals, we're going to be using a best of 5 format. So in our map rotation today, we have control, escort, hybrid, and once we get to game 4 and game 5, if we do, I'm hoping we get to see a game 4 and a game 5, we will see another control and escort map.
And it's going to be interesting to see how these teams adapt from a more shorter series to a more respectable 5-game series. With 3-game series, it's kind of a crapshoot, I would like to say, because I mean, again, calling for Rocket League, it is just more of the first game. You need to know your opponent right off the bat. And once you win that first game, you have the clear series advantage. But here in this 5-game, you have time to kind of get to know your opponent for the first game, for the second game. And if you take the series 2-0, that's when you have the advantage. But if it's 1-1, that is when it kind of cuts the series down to a 3-game. And by then, you already know who you're facing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're going to have more time to adapt, more time to collect themselves and figure out the matchup and what they can do to take home this win. Hanover Horde, it's worth noting, are the Overwatch NAF champions from last year. Some of the most intimidating records of any team in any game in the league. Super dominant team. The Franklin Nomads have absolutely shown that they have time and time again been able to compete with these teams. Yesterday, the Franklin Nomads, what we saw a lot of was trying to kind of play around the I think what we saw with the Franklin Nomads was just not as much in-depth map knowledge as the Hanover Horde seemed to have. You know, in those later matches, as they kind of got deeper and deeper into the map pool, they just didn't seem as comfortable as the Hanover Horde. You know, maybe not as rehearsed on certain sections of the map, and so you know, it seemed like the Franklin Nomads had some kind of studying to do between now and then, and I'll be interested to see what differences in their gameplay they've made between then and now.
And it's just all about making those adjustments to a longer series. It's turning a sprint into a race, and once you get into 7-game series, it's more of like turning a sprint into a marathon. So it's just keeping up with each other, trading those blows, and just getting to know each other right off the bat.
All right, here we go. I can hear it in my ears. We are going to be going to Nepal for the first map here as we get started. Let's take a look at the team compositions that they're going to be choosing to start off with. Here we are on Nepal. We saw some really great plays here in the last game, ranging from all the environmental kills. I think I remember even the Franklin Nomads actually had a really, really great environmental play here. I remember the Roadhog flanking around, dropping down into this hallway, and catching the Horde by surprise as he pushed the Horde into the abyss here. So hopefully we'll see some more really fun environmental plays here.
Yeah, definitely. As we get set up here to start. Last game, it really seemed like that top landing point was the main focal point of the battle. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams kind of come at each other.
Yeah, so we've got a Reinhardt D.Va. So D.Va going to give them a little more mobility, and they're running the Hanzo and the Symmetra. Symmetra's going to be an interesting play here. How are they going to utilize Symmetra in this engagement here as they speed their way with the Lucio speed boost directly onto this high ground, taking positional advantage in this first engagement.
Not to kind of cut you off here, partner. I don't think you switched the seats.
You're right.
Well, they paused anyway, so it paused just for us.
You know, I hope they didn't just pause for us, but I do appreciate, hopefully my verbal commentary was enough to give you guys an idea for what was going on there.
I like what Fix said. We see your lovely faces, that is all.
Thank you, Physics. Really, definitely appreciate it. But let's get back to the match here. And this pause actually gives us a little time here to kind of analyze what they've got going on here. So it looks like the Franklin Nomads believe that if they can get there first and be really aggressive with their positioning, that they can kind of box out and not give the Hanover Horde any footing. It seems like they want to kind of keep them off balance the entire time. So they went with the Symmetra so they could teleport and cover a lot of ground really quickly, and then they used that Lucio speed boost to get to that critical top ground and get there first and get the better positioning. And it looks like what the Hanover Horde are going to try and do here is kind of keep to what I would say is pretty standard for their game plan. The only thing that's a little bit interesting here that I don't recognize from their previous composition is the Wrecking Ball on Kid MDK. Kid MDK, to their credit, already has 63% of the way to their ultimate, so it's looking like the Wrecking Ball is doing some work.
Yeah, right now, it's interesting to see how the Franklin Nomads set up here. And when it comes to juxtaposition to what we saw in the last match, they're already just going straight for the centerpiece objective. Whereas the Hanover Horde, they're going to be trying to take the high ground, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like one of the adaptations that I'm also seeing here is that they recognize that Franklin Nomads were having trouble closing in on the Hanover Horde, but with that Symmetra teleporter, they can essentially be right in their faces, right where the Franklin Nomads want to be, with just one ability, instantly teleport their whole team right into the faces of the Hanover Horde. Hanover Horde do stabilize, though, and are able to recap the point as it takes up for them.
Excellent play there to keep them kind of on their heels. And now they're forced to reset, the Franklin Nomads are, so gives the Hanover Horde a little bit more time to capture and set up a defensive objective.
So looks like the Franklin Nomads are going to push forward here. How are they going to utilize this ultimate? They choose to invest the ultimate. 2 down for the Horde, 1 kill for the Nomads here as they're going into a 3v5 match here as they choose to commit to this fight.
Excellent play there by Kidcom. Just getting that elimination and getting the ball out of the way.
Check this out.
Let's take a look at here at Pizza Freak. Pizza Freak, another infamous Junkrat player in the league, known for some really heroic plays on that Junkrat.
Yeah, right now, the Hanover Horde being pushed out of the objective, and with 65% and counting with their capture speed, it's going to be kind of a drag race to the finish, I would say.
And there was that hero play, called it out, that Junkrat Tire, 3 kills immediately. You know, the Franklin Nomads were looking really strong at the start of that engagement, but as soon as that Junkrat Tire came out, it seems like they didn't quite have an answer or a way to deal with that tire as it was coming through. But a big shatter.
Big play there to keep them out of the center line. And with 99% and overtime looming, it's going to be interesting to see how the Hanover Horde deal with this.
Franklin Nomads take the point over 15%, 99, ticking up to the Franklin Nomads. They're going to have to win maybe 2 or 3. They're going to have to win about 3 fights if they're going to want to stay in this. So now is do or die for them. If they would lose any fight, this will be the first loss on this section here. So let's see how they choose to approach this. They're going to try and play this close right here at the very entrance.
That strategy to have today is pushing back. But right now, the Hanover Horde with a couple of ultimates, one pouring it out. Let's see how they handle it.
Wow, 4 kills from that Diva Bomb. Incredible play from Toonbury on the Diva. That is absolutely amazing. It's going to flip the point over to the Hanover Horde. Can anybody contest this on the side of the Franklin Nomads? Nobody's able to make it in time. And the Hanover Horde will secure the first section of Nepal here.
That was a great round played by the Hanover Horde. Lost it for a second when it was 99% in going into overtime, but never lost their composure and forced out the Franklin Nomads. Now the Nomads are going to be having to be the ones to kind of regroup and get back into this thing.
I think the biggest thing the Nomads will have to do is find an answer to the Junkrat Tire. Find an answer to the Diva Bombs. They need an answer to those big burst damage ultimates. It seems like whatever's happening, the Lucio ultimate isn't ready in time for those big burst damage ultimates, and so they're gonna have to find some way, maybe through a clutch, we have T's Immortality Field, maybe they focus down those burst damage heroes. It looks like that's exactly what they do. Junkrat goes down right at the very beginning.
And it's gonna be interesting to see with how much damage these guys are getting in the beginning, how they're going to kind of tax that in terms of their ultimate.
And a little bit of a skirmish on the point here as the Wrecking Ball is trying to be a little annoying, trying to stop it from automatically flipping over to the Macomb Nomads, as the Nomads are trying to kind of get these guys out of here so they can start ticking up. A little bit of poke here before the engagement.
Already setting up here the home Knights. Or excuse me, that was last round. I meant to say the Franklin Nomads.
And it seems like the Nomads are finding their footing here and have found a good defensible spot and strategy for keeping the Horde out of the objective here, and are pushing them out now and kind of routing them and staggering this poor Diva off the map.
Missy right now playing a good job being support as he's able to keep his team into the fight.
But here it is, the big burst damage ultimate in Junkrat's Tire is online. How will the Nomads react to this? They kind of abandon the point, and a cheeky play from the Wrecking Ball forces them to drop off of the high ground and come down towards the point. They're going to try and force them to play in this small zone here. They separate the Reinhardt, get the kill there. Ultimate's coming out. They think this is it. They can win this here. And I got to say, I agree with it with the full engagements.
and just trying to dissipate these Franklin Nomads who have been so dominant on the objective here. Right now as it's contested and it finally goes into the Hanover Horde's control.
Hanover Horde have their work cut out for them, 79% to 5 here. But they do still have the Junkrat tire on hand, but they're down 1 with the D.Va going down early, giving the Nomads an early advantage going into this fight.
Right now, if you're the Franklin Nomads, you're just trying to play the kind of to the numbers, take one at a time and pick your target.
So keep an eye on this Mei here with her freeze. It's going to be a battle of the Mei ultimate versus the Junkrat ultimate, I think, for this fight. And the point flips already, almost no kind of fight from the Hanover Horde. Seems they want to give it up and try and get the regroup to get the retake. And there it is, the giant burst tire coming in for the Junkrat tire coming in for the Hanover Horde is going to flip the point right away.
It's a 1-on-3, 98%, not able to get the 99, and now it's going to be a drag race to the finish to see who gets this one, with 35 and counting for the Hanover Horde.
And Lucio here looking like DSP Stanky, one of the best Lucio players, like a DPS Lucio, doing so much damage, getting 2 kills with just a melee. Really interesting play there coming out from Lucio.
Now the Hanover Horde bewildered here as Franklin Nomads threatening to capture.
Big ultimates coming out for both sides here. Both Lucios have invested their ultimates. Mei has invested her freeze ultimate, but it looks like the Hanover Horde came out on top of the exchange and are going to flip this back over to them.
65%, and it's going to be a tall task here for the Franklin Nomads to kind of get back into this objective and capture.
Let's take a look at how the Baptiste is going to choose to utilize his window here coming into this fight. Let's take a look at also at the D.Va on the side of the Hanover Horde and how she's going to choose to utilize this bomb. You know, if I'm D.Va, I'm tempted to just throw my bomb into that little small room and hope that it catches all of them. But it looks like the Nomads smartly are going to choose to go a different direction and rotate. Amazing play there.
99%. Hanover Horde trying to hold on for dear life here on this overtime, and now it flips.
It's the Junkrat tires. It's the Junkrat tires. It's the Junkrat tires. For both sides here, the Junkrat tires just blowing open these objectives as the Hanover Horde staggers in, trying to get any kind of contest going.
They're not going to. What a great match. 100% to 99. Both overtimes. And wow. That is a hard-earned point. And as if this 5-game series wasn't going to be close enough, we already have a 1-1 tie heading into our 3rd and final match here for this opening map.
Our 1-to-1 on this first map. This is exactly what we want to see. The adaptations and competition in this competition, and I think what we're seeing is, you know, the Franklin Nomads realize, hey, you know what? That Junkrat tire is pretty good. Let's get a Junkrat tire of our own.
They're just going to be battling, jockeying for position here, trying to get a good setup with the match.
And the Franklin Nomads do get the first advantage in terms of positioning here, but a great little side flank, getting an alternate angle on hit scan, is able to take out the Symmetra. But with this strong positioning, how are they going to crack this open? How are they going to stop this? What are the Horde going to do to kind of take out the defenses here? Really, really strong front line on the Franklin Nomads.
Right now, they're just going to be trying to focus on kind of the bodies here, trying to keep each other to man on man. As you, again, the Junkrat wheel you mentioned is going to be playing a big part of it. And I think right now they're trying to bust out everything they can in order to bust open that objective.
And with that healing, they're going to be able to get lots of ults here. Almost 5 ults to 4 ults for the Hanover Horde. 1 ult online for the Franklin Nomads. So this is the opportunity for the Hanover Horde to break this open and get this first play. Are they going to open it up with the mines? Yep, there it is. Mines to open up the fight. They're pushing in with basically all their ultimates, only saving the high noon, and that's going to be enough, I think, for them to push in here and get some progress.
60% here so far for the Franklin Nomads. The Hanover Horde kind of yet to show any kind of resistance until now, and now it's contested. Almost taken for the Hanover Horde and breaking up their 0% skin.
Wow, the Franklin Nomads did such a great job of extending that fight for so long that now the tanks are back. The tanks have regrouped and they are making the most of it, and this point still hasn't flipped over. I mean, the Franklin Nomads are getting progress on that counter. They're likely to get it to 99 if this continues, even though the Hanover Horde have largely been winning this fight for so long. Because they never flipped it, that's basically a one fight for the Franklin Nomads. Great job kind of extending that overtake.
Touch from afar. Time to raise my APM.
Now with the Hanover Horde trying to get this one at bay, and again, all tasks to ask is trying to get this thing back to a victory here for the Hanover Horde with 93% booming.
Here comes the tire.
Nomads.
Catches the enemy, catches the Horde's Junkrat player, but with both support ultimates on hand, you know, it's going to take more than just the Junkrat tire, I think, to take out the Hanover Horde here with all those defensive support ultimates.
I think that's going to be another big factor here in this third and final match is the support. How they play it, when they play it, and how the other team counters.
So looking at this now, both Lucia ults online. Junkrat has their tire on the Hanover Horde. It's going to be up to this Lucio to use their ult in time to save their team from that Junkrat tire. Opts to use it right now as their team tries to push in. Both Lucio ults coming through, both support ults coming through, but with a fantastic mines from the Wrecking Ball on the side of the Hanover Horde, they're able to burst through all that healing.
They're closing the gap, 85%.
And now it's going to be a mad scramble for the Hanover Horde, and heavy are this Junkrat shoulders as he's going to try and get the biggest Junkrat tire he possibly can. Are they aware of it? Are they aware of it? Catches the enemy Junkrat and is going to neutralize that threat as they push in. Big shatter could give an opportunity as the Nomads are coming in here, and the Horde are just going to try and stall this retake to hopefully get some kind of regroup and give their other players time to get back in here.
That's going to be another tall task here for the Horde to try to keep this one on the back.
Another Junkrat tire is going to eliminate the Baptiste, the main heals for the Franklin Nomads, and now the tanks aren't looking good as they start to fall without their supports.
Victory. Play of the game.
And let's take a look at play of the game here. Oh, sorry, please, go ahead.
That was just a huge play there.
Here we go. Yep, the triple diva bomb, and even the fourth kill onto the other diva with the remech. Love to see a remech kill. Those are always really fun. The mech slams down to the ground, and anyone who's right there standing on top of it will get squished.
Excellent play there, and excellent support there for both teams. Able to make the adjustment for the Hanover Horde and able to come up with this victory.
Yeah, really impressive display right there on that performance. what I noticed there, especially in that last fight, was they had a lot of extended engagements on both sides. So the Franklin Nomads used the extended fights, the extended engagement to kind of give themselves as much percentage, stall the retake, and get themselves to like 99%. And then the Hanover Horde, on that very last fight of the game, they stalled the engagement for so long that they gave their players a chance to come back into the fight. Because if we remember, the Junkrat on the Franklin Nomads used their tire to take out the enemy Junkrat. And so they understood that, you know what, we're going to use our support ults, we're going to keep ourselves alive in this fight, and what we're going to do is we're just going to keep pumping lots and lots of heals. We're not going to commit, we're not going to try and fight them on the point. We're going to play these off angles, and we're going to play as safe as we can so that we can get all of our team back in here and extend this fight, give us a better chance at getting this retake and holding this.
Yeah, and it's just a test to just how close these few matches have been, especially that first one, man. The 99% to 100%, that was crazy to watch, and just 3 consecutive overtime takes. But coming into this next match, this is why I'd say 5-game series is more of a race than a sprint. Because in a 3-game series, you already have the advantage. You already have the series advantage. It's already match point. So with this game 5, it gives, in this case, the Franklin Nomads a little bit of time to breathe. Yes, they're down by 1, but there is a chance that they can come back. And in this best of 5, if they win this next one, it cuts that thing down, back down to a best of 3, and they're already used to each other. They already had it, they already duked it out, and they already know each other's strats.
Absolutely. I love the adaptation that we saw on the Nomads and the Horde. And the Nomads, you know, understanding, you know what, we need some burst damage of our own. Let's get that Junkrat tire in there. I think what's really going to be the difference maker again is how they play around each other's big burst damage plays. These burst damage plays that kind of instantly turn the fight into one other team's favor. You know, whenever they're kind of doing these poke fights and they're just trying to build their ultimates, it seems like the Franklin Nomads seem to have the advantage in the kind of the straight up kind of brawls, but the Hanover Horde are really savvy around playing around those ultimates and playing around the extended fights.
And with the Hanover Horde, they had a great chance here to battle it out. They did. They took it, and they come out with a 1-0 series lead. And coming into this next map, they're going to try to battle hard in order to get the chokehold of this series. Because I think when it comes to 2 teams playing in a playoff kind of format.
Initiating match.
Hard the Hanover Horde come to battle.
Absolutely. Going into Havana, it seems like this seems to be the favored map for teams this regionals. They seem to really like these angles, these long ranged battles. So I'll be excited to see kind of the whittle duels, the ranged battles that happen here on this first section here with some of the best mechanically skilled players in all of XP League.
Yeah, and with 36 seconds, it's going to be interesting to see how the Franklin Nomads set up their first defensive push.
Now let's take a look at kind of where they're looking to set up here. It looks like they're going to have the double snipers on the high ground, the Widowmaker and the Hanzo up here, and then they're going to have their Orisa down there on the corner. So they're not going to choose to try and fight them at their spawn. They're going to choose to fight here at this corner and play a little safer and play for this corner and hopefully kind of enable their snipers a little more. All right, let's take a look and see if we can get if there's any opening picks right at the beginning of the fight here. Both very smart. Both Sigmas using their shields for their respective snipers, giving them both ample opportunity and a pull there from the Orisa to combo with the snipe. Awesome team play there. Love that. Love to see that. Oh, and just the tiniest little pixel of their head box is peeking out for hit scan to go ahead and punish. Now Kin MDK has all the space in the world to have all the fun he wants with his hook.
And it's going to be important here for the support players for the Hanover Horde to keep this payload moving. Especially now that you sent the Franklin Nomads back to their own spawn.
They're going to try and keep them cooped up in this tight alleyway here. They want to keep them there. They don't want them to get a recontest. They want to keep them in this tight space where they can focus lots and lots of damage.
A good flank here by Kidmech as he takes a little bit more damage, but able to get one elimination there.
And
now the Hanover Horde able to take the first checkpoint.
Great tank play from the Franklin Nomads, honestly. I mean, Orisa was able to make so much space and push through that alleyway. Not an easy thing to do. But even then, with all of that, they still weren't able to get the contest onto the payload in time, as their backline was having a little more trouble pushing through that alleyway.
And now pushing through, you have 3 people on the payload, 2 people, 1 person, and now the payload kind of stops right after the first checkpoint. Still 4 minutes 33 left to go, and they're creeping up to halfway point to that that second checkpoint. It's going to be interesting to see how the Hanover Horde deals with this choke point for the Franklin Nomads.
And the Widow already coming through. 3 kills in this fight alone, taking advantage and kind of forcing them on this door, forcing the Nomads onto their back foot, not even having to invest many ultimates in this fight. Great job from the Hanover Horde, really capitalizing on the momentum they have in that first point.
2 ultimates ready. And on the other side, for the Hanover Horde, you already have 3. It's going to be interesting to see how they tax that out.
A great job from the Ladderlass on the Hanzo here. Takes out the Widow. Great job. Franklin Nomads have stabilized and stopped it from completing the second section here on Havana. Now, how will they set up their defenses now that they're able to take a little bit of time to breathe and reposition?
Yeah, it's a good job by the Franklin Nomads. They had to get control of the payload, and now they're going to have to set up their defensive checkpoint. It's going to be a little bit more hard for the Hanover Horde to battle through this one.
Both Sigma ultimates coming out on both sides here. But it looks like the Franklin Nomad Sigma isn't able to complete their ultimate and gets punished a little quickly there, as the Hanover Horde are pushing this objective all the way in again.
Get to the second checkpoint, 4 minutes 11 to go now to get to that third and final checkpoint. And now all the pressure winds down to the Franklin Nomads and how they're going to be setting up this defensive.
Yep, they're really going to have to look out for this Widow sideline. I mean, this section of the map has the strongest Widow sideline in the entire map, so how they play around this is going to be everything for both teams, as both of the Widows here show what they're made of.
Now you have 3 ultimates ready here for the Hanover Horde. It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to play.
Hanover Horde here just playing absolutely amazingly. So much space, all the space in the world for them. It seems like they're using this Junkrat so well, just deleting those shields so that their range damage can just go in and wreak havoc. Great hook from Roadhog there is going to take out the Hanzo. The Franklin Nomads just doing anything they can to throw bodies on the payload at this point.
Just a little bit more here for the capture. They have 3 people, 4 people, and that'll do it with 2:45 remaining. That, I think, is the quickest I've seen so far this weekend. And excellent play here by the Hanover Horde, not letting the Franklin Nomads' excellent defensive position get to them. They're able to come up with the win, and in a speedy fashion at that.
Absolutely, just great job from the Hanover Horde. Really, really dominating offense there. They really took advantage of the momentum that was presented to them in that first point and took it all the way through this second point. Franklin Nomads looked like they were starting to stabilize here, but just it seems like they couldn't get the value out of their ultimates. I think what happened there was the Nomads kind of reacted with their ultimates instead of being proactive with their ultimates. So that is to say that the Hanover Horde, when it came time for them to put in another attack on this warehouse section, they started the fight with their ultimates, putting the Franklin Nomads on the back foot right away, and then that forced the Nomads to have to use those ultimates in reaction to, maybe a little bit of a deficit. Maybe they're pushed back a little farther than they wanted to be. So maybe they should be a little more proactive with their ultimates. Maybe they have to be a little more careful with their positioning. We'll see what kind of adaptations they make here as they put on their own offensive.
Yeah, I like what you said there, being proactive versus reactive. I think right now that's the thing that's going to make the difference between these two teams, is who's more proactive.
As we can see here, a couple of interesting plays going on. It seems like they wanted to send the Wrecking Ball and the Tracer to go deal with the Widowmaker and try to flank around, but it seems like the Hanover Horde caught them out and were able to stop them from doing any kind of damage to their backline.
Already pushing up that main alleyway, and the Franklin Nomads definitely showing their dominance in terms of offense, but coming in, what a good push by Hanover Horde.
Yeah, with those flankers going off and trying to harass the back line, that leaves the front line vulnerable for Franklin Nomads. So it's going to be largely up to the flankers to cause enough distraction to make that flank worth it. So let's see how that's working out for them as they push around the corner here and are able to harass this Widow and kind of take away some of the effectiveness that they may have had.
Now they're creeping up to this first checkpoint. Already 4 people on the payload, but the Hanover Horde already setting up in different sight lines, trying to fire on all cylinders at all angles.
And you can see Hitscan here having a much harder time than they did last round, having to play and reposition so much more now that they've got these flankers going around causing havoc for them. I think this is actually a great composition change, a great strategy change call for the Franklin Nomads. It's put the Hanover Horde on the back foot, and having to constantly reposition is really hurting their Widowmaker's ability to pump damage like they were last round.
Now is the more defensive favorite part of the map coming into this next payload part. So it's going to be kind of weird to see how these guys kind of react to each other.
And there we go. The first ultimate coming out. Looks like they are being proactive and starting the fight with their ults instead of waiting for the enemy to start with their ults, kind of boxing them and forcing the Horde to come out a different angle that they might have wanted to there. Junkrat Tire comes out, but is immediately caught out by the Junkrat on the Franklin Nomads, as the Hanover Horde are still in this, still trying, and with that amazing Earth Shatter, are able to bring it back. Great play from the Reinhardt on the Hanover Horde.
Yeah, and for the Franklin Nomads, they're gonna have to try to hurry up here with 3 minutes 41 to go. It's if you waste too much time here, if you are able to force overtime, it's just gonna be kind of a detriment to you.
The Franklin Nomads, though, they have a lot of resources going into this next fight. They have 3 very, very powerful ultimates. If I was them, I would want to combo that signal with the Junkrat Tire. An amazing pulse bomb from Tracer, catches 2. Wow, you got to be feeling good about that one. Amazing plays there. Instantly deletes their team in like 10 seconds. Great set play there from Franklin Nomads.
And that Tracer was the opening blow that opened the floodgates, and now they're past the second checkpoint, heading into the final stretch.
And the adaptation that we're seeing from the Hanover Horde is that they've swapped here for the Ashe. Ashe finally gets their ultimate on board. They haven't been able to be as effective as they might have wanted to be, but maybe they'll make some kind of adaptation here that will let them kind of shine the way they're hoping to. I think they've swapped to the Ashe because they know that with an Ashe, you know, they can battle with the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball a little more than they would if they were on Widowmaker. So let's see how they're going to utilize Ashe's Bob and Dynamite here.
Point to the checkpoint, and now you're going to start seeing the Hanover Horde's defense trying to clamp up and keep them out to the outskirts.
Bob coming out from the Ashe, and and those mines doing so much damage are able to take out 2 members of the Hanover Horde as they push it across the bridge here. And now the Widowmaker for the Franklin Nomads is going to have control of this sight line here on the payload. Not going to want to touch this payload without your tanks present, that's for sure.
That's for definite. Coming into this final half, almost to the objective spot with 3:03 left to go. 15 seconds faster than the Hanover Horde.
And the supports are doing their absolute best to try and stay in this, trying to stall this out. They're having to play at weird angles because of the Widowmaker just absolutely dominating anything she sees. So they're not really able to get kind of comfortable here, get some kind of footing, as the Franklin Nomads are going to close this out with 2 minutes and 30 seconds, coming down to 2 minutes on the clock. Wow, this is really, really even on both sides.
Definitely, and you know what, man, it was a masterclass on both sides when it comes to the moving that payload. And I think coming into this latter half, it's gonna come down to who can get it there faster. With 2 minutes, I think both these teams rather, have, you know, an upper hand, so to say. So it's just gonna be interesting to see who is ready to start. Who's ready to play first?
Absolutely. And the hallmark of these top teams is their ability to adapt on the fly to the challenges that are being presented to them. And we're seeing that in real time with the switches to the more mobile team compositions, the switches to the Ashe, the switches to, I mean, it's just, you know, rock, paper, scissors over and over again. And they're just playing at this RPS game at a much faster pace now. And I think we're starting to see them really kind of flex what makes them a top team.
Kind of setting up another firing range type deal with the Hanover Horde, and not exactly a bad way to start this out. Shooting from a distance and just trying to keep these guys trapped in their own area.
All right, overtime, 2 minutes at the clock. It looks like they're going to stick with that mobile comp that they had last time as they mount another offensive here. Hanover Horde not opting for the second sniper, instead keeping the Junkrat. I think they recognize that Junkrat's going to do a better job of dealing with Tracer than Widowmaker or Ashe for that matter. And it looks like it worked out because Tracer, you know, got a little confident there, dashing into the team, and gets taken out quickly.
I think right now the Tracer's doing a good job at trying to keep that Junkrat at bay.
Junkrat for the Hanover Horde goes down as the Horde starts to come up in eliminations and pushes the Hanover Horde out of their defensive position. Really, really strong offense here on the Franklin Nomads. Tracer already has her pulse bomb going into the second section here. They're going to look for the staggers. They're not going to want to let them set up here. So let's see what this Tracer does with this pulse bomb.
With 50 seconds left, they're already through the first checkpoint.
Loses out on the pulse bomb, but right here, Wrecking Ball with their mines looking to get some kind of trap, set up a trap here for the Hanover Horde.
Payload's still moving, and it's nearly halfway to the second checkpoint.
Franklin Nomads map aware have with their strong map awareness are ready for the wrecking ball and its mines and the tracer in the backline. Catch them both out and are going to go into this fight looking pretty strong, but not to be outdone. The Junkrat on the Franklin Nomads takes out 2 for the Hanover Horde, essentially turning this into an even fight, an all-out brawl onto the point. Let's see what happens here. Wow, just excellent plays on both sides here. It's a little hard to figure out who's going to come out on top here as the Franklin Nomads limbs start to pile up.
They're all going to be gathering up in that checkpoint right on the other side of that door. It's going to be interesting to see who is going to make the first mistake. That's the thing. Both teams just waiting to see who's going to make the first mistake.
And this fight is so critical. Every single meter that the Franklin Nomads push here is another meter that the Hanover Horde is going to have to beat. And lots of ultimates are going to come out here. They're throwing everything they have here. Sigma ultimate for the Franklin Nomads, and the Lucio ult's going to give them lots of sustain as they push into this fight. All right, but no kills coming out for the Franklin Nomads. Hanover Horde is going to come in here with their ultimates up 2, up 3, up 4, and now this is looking like it's going to be it for the Franklin Nomads advance here, but you got to be really happy with the Franklin Nomads pushing it this far with 2 minutes on the clock.
That was an excellent play by the Franklin Nomads. And now the Hanover Horde are going to have to match or beat that score with just 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds above what the Franklin Nomads had.
Absolutely. Looking into this, I mean, this is a high-pressure situation, and the Franklin Nomads are just absolutely dealing with it wonderfully. I'd love to see how the Franklin Nomads are going to play around this. We can actually see already another adaptation here with the Cassidy. They're going to be able to use that flashbang stun to catch out the Tracer, to catch out the Wrecking Ball, and punish those highly mobile flankers that have been such a thorn in the side of the Hanover Horde here.
Where'd you learn to shoot like that?
With 22 seconds left to go, Hanover Horde have their challenges cut out for them. That's definite.
Very mobile composition from the Hanover Horde with the Diva and the Wrecking Ball, opting not to have a shield tank. Looks like they're going to be playing those off angles, going for a lot of flanks here. Which actually makes sense, because in an overtime situation, you want your team to be able to chase the enemy team and not let them regroup at any point. You want to get those staggers and chase down as much as you can. And elimination's opening up already. I mean, look at just how aggressive they're playing. It looks like that aggression is getting called out by the Franklin Nomads as they unfortunately push into a Junkrat's damage range and are going to find themselves firsted down.
Right now, I think the Hanover Horde are going to have to try to steadfast here and just keep this payload moving.
A little bit of poke here going on as they try to build up their ultimates for the primary engagement. Wrecking Ball coming in here, being a little bit of annoyance, making lots of space for them to push around that corner on the payload. A Junkrat tire coming out already. Where is it? Where is it? Try to spot it, Hanover Horde. Can you find it? They catch it out as the Lucio, with a great play, is able to take out that tire before it's able to do any damage.
Under a minute left. Still trying to get to that first checkpoint.
The tire here trying to wait out the ultimate, but is able to catch out too.
And with the Hanover Horde looking a little stronger here after this initial kind of flurry of offensive might.
Interestingly, it looks like the strategy here from the Hanover Horde is to, from the Franklin Nomads, is to just kind of burn the clock as much as they can. And I can't say that I disagree. They have a lot of space to work with. So, you know, why not throw a Tracer? Why not throw a Wrecking Ball? Throw those characters that can be really annoying and waste lots of time. Every second here is going to be important for them. But now that they've kind of burned the clock enough, they need to get a regroup so they can get this last big team fight. Ultimates, 4 ultimates for the Hanover Horde, 3 ultimates for the Franklin Nomads. Who's going to come out on top? This fight is going to be so important for both of them.
Now we're reaching overtime. It's going to be important here for the Hanover Horde to keep this thing alive.
And let's see how they're going to choose to get this going. First ultimate comes out off the side of the Franklin Nomads. First blood gets drawn by the Hanover Horde, taking out the Tracer. Ultimates coming out from both sides here as they're going to try and take the win here. Diva Bomb takes out both supports for the Franklin Nomads, and that's going to be, I think, the victory in this team fight for the Hanover Horde as they push it into this last section here. What kind of stall are we going to see here? What are the Franklin Nomads going to do with their back against the wall?
Kind of seeing flashbacks of the last match the Franklin Nomads are, as they kind of off kilter, having 4 people on the payload, and now they just reached the second.
Franklin Nomad, Hanover Horde very wisely there chooses not to let them regroup. You can see that their mobile characters, their Lucio, their Wrecking Ball, their Trace, the Wrecking Ball were going out and getting more kills and not letting the regroup ever happen. So they weren't ever even really able to contest in that last section of the warehouse. As we go into what is going to be the last fight of this match here.
Last stand here for the Franklin Nomads, trying to keep Hanover Horde at bay. And right now, Hanover Horde, they're looking pretty comfortable on that payload.
And without the full strength of the Franklin Nomads here, they're looking to just trying to get some stall onto this payload. Tracer dashing around, using her recall, trying to get as much time and contest on that payload as possible, looking for an opening, but man, it's going to be difficult here for the Franklin Nomads to get a regroup. Junkrat Tire coming out of spawn for the Hanover Horde. Their spawn is pretty close, but it looks like the Franklin Nomads have done a good job of getting a chance to regroup here as they drop their mines onto the payload. Oh, actually, it looks like the Hanover Horde's mines, but not to be outdone, there's the mines for the Franklin Nomads.
Well, looks like it's going to be all Hanover Horde here, as they able to come up with the victory. I would say the strong sense here, definitely the offense on both sides. That was a great matchup.
Let's take a look at this play of the game from the Tracer. Yags was on fire all match with some really heroic plays. This has got to be the double kill on the sticky, and then quickly taking out the and then the Junkrat Tire to follow up and take out the rest of the Hanover Horde. Man, these players are on fire. The DPS on both teams playing out of their minds.
We have a consensus.
It was a great matchup by both sides, and again, another even matchup as the Hanover Horde take the series stranglehold here at 2-0 here in this best of 5.
Let's take a look at the map pool here. So since this is a best of 5, that is going to mean that the it's showing us a draw here. Let me update this. There we go. Hanover Horde going up 2-0 in this best of 5 series, going to a hybrid map now. And I mean, these games are as close as they could possibly get. Look at that, 1-2, 5-6. I mean, 5-6 on a map like Havana is nothing to scoff at. But the Hanover Horde are going to be looking to close this out. You know, they've got to be feeling somewhat comfortable with their 2-0 lead, but you know, they can't let up the pressure at all. If they give the Franklin Nomads any chance, the Nomads will take it.
Both of them in 2 minutes almost recaptured, and including overtime, but they almost recaptured for, 3 straight points. It would have been 7-6 in terms of points in the last match. So it's going to be interesting to see what and who kind of, how they adjust their play style from last game to this one.
Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I'm not. If I'm the Nomads, I'm looking at my gameplay and I'm just racking my head, thinking, okay, what do we have to do here? Where are we kind of faltering? And I think it's just mentality at this point. Both of them are so skilled. Both of them are you know, at every role, at every point, are so strong that they've got what it takes. I mean, they've got the mechanical skills, they've got the game knowledge, they've got everything they need to be able to beat the Hanover Horde. But in those high pressure clutch moment situations, I think the mentality of the Hanover Horde is just that little bit much stronger than the Franklin Nomads.
Yeah, and talking about the mentality, if you're the Franklin Nomads, how do you come into this third match, man? You've thrown everything you had in the kitchen sink at the Hanover Hordes, and it just seems, it's not like they're being steamrolled. It's just they're losing by just that much. And I know the mentality has to be, you know, it's like, how do we beat these guys? So if you're the if you're the Franklin Nomads coach, what are you telling your guys?
If I'm the Franklin Nomads coach, I am singing the heck out of the praises of every single member of my team. I'm so proud of the performance that every single one of them are putting on, how close they're keeping it. They're not giving up. They're playing as a team and going for these amazing plays, doing absolutely amazing. So if I'm the coach of the Hanover Horde, I'm absolutely singing their praise, and I'm trying to take as much of the pressure off them as I can, and trying to get them to just have fun at this point, because at this point there's nothing else they can do. They can't study any tape. There's not really more strategies that they can come up with. They have all the strategies in their heads. They know what to do. They know how to execute. What they have to do at this point is just take the pressure off, so that they don't have any weight holding them down to perform.
That's a really good point. That is a really good point in terms of just the mentality of these athletes. We're coming into a very pressureful game. Sometimes the best thing to do is let go and just have fun, because at the end of the day, we're playing a game, and it's a fun one at that. It's a close one, but it's a fun one at that. So it's going to be interesting to see how we get going here in this third game.
All right, I'm just going to type in the chat really quick, let them know that we're ready when they are.
So it's been a really fun weekend here of some Overwatch weekend. So thank you so much for having me, by the way.
Absolutely, Bronic. It's been our pleasure to show off XP League and show off Overwatch and everything that those things allow us to do. Overwatch was the first game that we added to XP League. It's a game that I've dumped almost 1,000 hours into, and it's a game that really forces cooperation and teamwork, and it's really on display here this weekend at XP League's North American Regionals 2022. We're here in Game 3, winner's side of Grand Finals. Hanover Horde up 2-0. Nothing else I'd rather see right now. I mean, it's always just such a pleasure seeing these teams compete at the highest level.
Most definitely, and you can tell that these guys are very passionate about what they do and the game that they're playing, and especially these last two matchups. It's not like these guys are just bending the knee when things aren't going their way. They're finding ways to come back. They're showing their tenacity, their grit. And I think that's another thing that this league kind of inadvertently teaches the youth is always battle. Like, never just give up. That's not an option. And I don't think I've seen that this entire weekend of a team just giving up. Everybody has a backup plan. Everybody keeps battling, and it's all the more close and entertaining to watch as a spectator.
Absolutely. In fact, if we look at the Twitch chat right now, we've got DJ Fame, the master coach of himself, the coach for the Hanover Horde. I've always maintained that, in my humble opinion, DJ Fame is, the best, if not one of the best, certainly one of the best coaches in all of XP League. Does such an amazing job of cultivating that culture here. It looks like I lost Bryonic here, but we'll get their feedback in just a second. And in fact, we've got Weirdo in the comments here, in the chat here as well. Weirdo, even in the match, still finds a chance an opportunity for to support the stream. Thank you, Weirdo, for
Yeah, you know, I'm
supporting
gonna
the
be.
stream.
I think I'm gonna be muted here for a sec, or like not muted. The camera, because it's saying that it's too high in temperature.
All right.
Man, I guess that's the joy of living in California.
Yeah, no worries. All good, all good. I'll go ahead and kick us over to in-game. We're going to be starting off on King's Row for Game 3 here. And let me swap the graphics here. We've got the Hanover Horde on the... No, we've still got the Hanover Horde on the right. So let me swap it again. There we go. Oh, but the logos didn't swap. Let me try that again. Perfect.
Masterclass of broadcast technology.
When you're a one-man show, you know, you gotta let the little things go.
Exactly. And you're doing a great job. Absolutely.
So here we are. Looks like the Franklin Nomads have chosen to defend first on King's Row. And interestingly, interesting to see a Mei here. A Mei here. Looks like what they're going to go for is they're going to go for kind of the Mei's ability to create these ice walls, and they're going to try and wall off any players who walk past this this choke point here. To isolate them from the rest of the team, get a quick kill, and then be up for the rest of the team fight.
4, 3, 2.
Let's see if the Widowmaker here can get any kills off spawn.
Defend objective.
The Franklin Nomads are wise to it and position themselves around the hotel to not give the Widowmaker any opportunities to use that sideline. They're going to try and push through here into the hotel, and the Reinhardt goes down, main tank for the Franklin Nomads as the Hanover Horde push around and towards the back of the point here. Really, really great plays. Hanover Horde looking strong here in this initial engagement. The Franklin Nomads not being too eager, not trying to chase any kills. They know they have to play it safe here as the Hanover Horde goes back in for its re-engagement.
Right now, the Hanover Horde looking a little worse for wear in terms of just kind of battling it out. So it's going to be fun to see how these guys kind of recap.
But with that, you know, the Widowmaker is able to reposition, and they are able to keep themselves alive long enough to get all that damage pumped into them. I mean, they had so many angles of attack. They were attacking from behind the hotel. They were attacking. The Widowmaker had a different angle. I mean, they had so many different angles of attack that they were. It was only a matter of time until the Franklin Nomads kind of caved in from all that pressure on all sides.
Good job there by the Hanover Horde to keep that pressure up and drive back the Franklin Nomads. And now with the payload, they have a chance to just take it to the house and drive it all the way down.
But some big ultimates are coming online, opening up with the Baptiste window, going to wall that off. Great wall from the Mei there. Looks like they're going to try and play around this corner here, maybe go for a Mei ult, maybe look for an Earth Shatter. So many different opportunities here, but capitalizing on the momentum that the Hanover Horde have here, using both tank ultimates here, and it doesn't seem like they get much out of it, but you know, the payload's still moving.
And that's the most important thing, is to keep that payload on course. And right now I think the Hanover Horde are doing a good job at keeping playing support there.
All right, with this, they send the Diva Bomb in, which is going to give them the space to advance and push on the Hanover Horde. But a great play from the Junkrat, from Pizza Freak on Junkrat, is going to punish them for overextending on that aggression and give the Hanover Horde a chance to actually retaliate here.
And they're driving the Franklin Nomads all the way back.
Man, the plays just happen so fast here. You know, one moment your team is up, you have an advantage, you're pushing the advantage, and the next moment instantly get a little too eager, get a little too confident, punish that. Now the advantage is flipped, and it instantly switches in momentum.
And coming back, you see the 3 ultimates on both sides. Gonna be fun to see how they use this.
And this Toonbury on Zarya is just doing so much work. I mean, that high energy Zarya is so strong for them right now. I mean, they just ulted in the last fight, and one fight later, it seems like they're already going to have an ult. Just another ult. Zarya's ult being one of the strongest in the entire game. I mean, just look at the shield on Franklin Nomads Reinhardt. I mean, it's constantly cracked, almost never at full charge, but look at that, a great Earth Shatter. Great Lucio to cancel the Earth Shatter. And these teams are just playing at full throttle.
Excellent play here by the Hanover Horde, just getting back into the thick of things and getting their ultimates and battling back. We'll see how this happens and if they can get this third possible point.
Let me bring attention here to the ultimates on hand for the Hanover Horde. The Graviton Surge and the Dragons, that's the combo they're going to look out for. They unleash the Dragons a little early here, though. Looks like they want to invest it. They want to try to win this regardless of whether or not they have the Graviton ready to go, but I think the Franklin Nomads are going to use that to their advantage. I mean, they have the spawn advantage. They have the man advantage at this point. I think this is going to stall out the Hanover Horde at this spot here as the Hanover Horde pull back and try and get that re-engagement. Or maybe not. They're going to keep this extended engagement going. They see some opportunities. They get some picks here. And as the Junkrat is able to get a couple of kills here onto the Franklin Nomads and extend this push. Wow. Did that just happen? That's incredible. Well, Lantern on Lucio, before May was able to kind of icicle herself and stall the payload, booped the May off of the side. Great plays from both teams. It's like watching an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like... Oops.
Initiating match.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's just the back and forth that kind of happened there. And in terms of just like the final battle, Hanover Horde, just everything they could to throw at the Franklin Nomads, man. That's everything in the kitchen sink. They were able to do it, and they were to come up with a win.
Absolutely. So right here,
Ready for battle.
I mean, they just have counters for the counters for the counters, and it's like, what are the, how many layers deep does their plans go? One ultimate comes out, okay, we'll use this ultimate counter. Oh, you used that ultimate, we were actually baiting out that ultimate, and now we're gonna punish you using your Lucio ult and bring in another ultimate. Oh, actually, we were expecting that, so we're also, I mean, it's just incredible mind games and level of play here.
I get what you mean by Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode. You activated my trap card.
Exactly.
5, 4, 3.
So here we go. The Franklin Nomads are going to have a chance to show off their offense. I mean, both these teams so powerful on the offensive as the Franklin Nomads make their approach here. Going super quick, not going to dilly-dally at all. Going to use that symmetric teleporter to bring themselves directly onto the point. And not giving the Hanover Horde really much space at all as they kind of push around this corner and into the hotel. The Pizza Freak, I mean, just completely denying entire areas to the Franklin Nomads with that incredible burst damage. I mean, they're really getting to shine in these tight zones right here as they pump so much damage into the shields, into the tanks of the Franklin Nomads.
And for the Hanover Horde, absolutely battling, keeping these guys at bay, and not even letting them anywhere close to the payload.
Lots of abilities coming out here. They're going to use the window to give them enough damage to kind of push through this area here. And the Franklin Nomads find an opening to push onto point as the team fight begins in earnest, and the Junkrat Tire comes out. Gets caught out by Yags. Great shot onto the Junkrat Tire. But they're not in the clear yet, as they still need to take out the rest of the Hanover Horde here. Franklin Nomads see that fight is lost.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's going to be a tough battle here. And I think the Franklin Nomads just going back and just trying to regroup as hard as they can, or as best as they can, rather.
Oh, perhaps an opportunity for the Franklin Nomads to push in. They get an early pick onto the hit scan, and they're going to go in and dump their ultimates onto the point. But unfortunately, they're going to get punished for their over-aggression as Pizza Freak He capitalizes on the great graviton from Toonbury. Toonbury doing so much work for the Hanover Horde on this map. Toonbury's Zarya just absolutely amazing on King's Row right now. Just high energy almost the entire game. Just getting so many grabs so quickly.
With about 1:38 left to go to try to get this objective. We saw it before where they're able to get it at the stroke of midnight, it seems, in overtime. But right now, I think the Franklin Nomads need to start dominating their positions a little bit more.
Blizzard coming out from May, Lucio coming out from Lantern on Hanover Horde, and it looks like the Franklin Nomads are coming out on top of this fight as they take out the front line, back line, and all that's left is Toonbury on Zarya as they capture the first point here on King's Row. Well played, Hanover Horde.
60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and it's a interesting play there, and now they're able to get the payload. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how the Hanover Horde regroup here in terms of their establishing their defense on the sidelines.
And here they come into the second streets phase of King's Row. Franklin Nomads pushing up to the corner here. They don't want to have to fight in this choke point, so they're going to push up and try to jockey for positioning here, which may be a little difficult with the Junkrat damage coming through, making it hard for the Reinhardt to have to play around the barrier. And another Graviton Surge comes out with the Dragons, but the Lucio ult to counter the Dragons. Great plays here from both sides here. And oh my god, a flank shatter from the Hanover Horde is going to end that push from the Franklin Nomads.
That was a great push by the Nomads, and pushing back the Horde. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of regroup here.
But this presents another opportunity here for the Franklin Nomads with a shatter on their Reinhardt. No shatter for the Hanover Horde going into this next fight. It's going to keep your eyes on this Reinhardt. It's going to be up to Kid MDK on Hanover Horde to outplay the Franklin Nomads Reinhardt to prevent that shatter from doing much.
And right now, the Hanover Horde trying their best to battle through this checkpoint. And with the Franklin Nomads, you gotta give them credit, man. They're keeping that payload on the move.
Absolutely. They've got a lot of momentum going into this. Lots of great aggression, great plays from their DPS and their Lucio here. Kind of splitting up the team, staggering the Hanover Horde, giving themselves more time to push that payload into this second objective here. But not to be outdone, let's remember, Pizza Freak has been here tons of times before, constantly saving their team right when they need it. There it is, 3 kills coming out for the Hanover Horde and eliminating the entirety of the Franklin Nomads there, stopping that push in its tracks.
That is a huge elimination there for the Hanover Horde. About 60 seconds left to go, and now it's going to have to be an all-out assault if the Franklin Nomads want to extend this game.
And there we go. The May ultimate comes out. It seems like they were able to catch out Weirdo on Baptiste right there, and hit scan evens it up with a kill with a catch onto Yags on Hanzo. So Hanover Horde doing a good job here of kind of slowing down this push here and extending this engagement. They want to run the clock as much as they possibly can. Here comes the ultimates for the Hanover Horde, getting a nice team wipe there.
Important team wipe too. 19 seconds left to go, and they're forced to retreat and have maybe enough time for one last push.
Is anyone fast enough? Can anyone on the Franklin Nomads get to the payload in time? They're trying here. They're trying their best to get there. Everyone's running at it, but it's just a little bit too far out of reach, and the Hanover Horde will win this third game in the series, winning 3-0. Congratulations to the Hanover Horde for winning this this best of 5 series. A really, really great series of matches here today from Franklin Nomads and the Hanover Horde. GG to both. Hanover Horde is your champions for the Group A Overwatch Regionals, and we are excited to see them both return and battle again at the North American Finals. Great job to both.
Yeah, it's no love
Nice
lost
and
between
easy.
these two
Just
teams,
how I
and
like it.
I think the battle there was just absolutely amazing to see. A lot of spirited.
It's going to be fantastic. And here we go. So that concludes Group A. Now we'll be swapping over to the Group B bracket and checking out the matches over there. They've been waiting patiently for us to begin. So we'll go ahead and we'll kick it over to an ad break in just a moment here. But once again, I just want to emphasize again, really, really great job to both of these teams. One of the closest, definitely the closest sets of matches that we've seen so far. I mean, just look at those individual match scores, you know, going 1-2, going 5-6, going 3-1 here. I mean, just absolutely great gameplay on both sides. You know, just a few different plays there, and the Nomads could have easily completed that Streets phase and pushed it all the way.
Yeah, definitely, and it just shows the characteristics of both the Nomads and the Horde just battling as hard as they could, and for the Nomads to come back and to make it as close as it was. You know, that 3-0 score is very deceptive. Yes, it was a sweep, but that was the closest sweep I think I've ever seen in any sport. So the Franklin Nomads have nothing to hang their heads about, and looking forward to seeing them in the Fortress.
Well said. All right, everybody. Stay tuned. We've got more Overwatch action, more grand finals to see as we swap over to the Group B bracket. Keep it right here at twitch.tv/XP League. Give us a follow. Share the stream with your friends as we finish up the Overwatch portion of regionals. Thank you, everybody.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are just wrapping things up here. Hanover Horde A team with a great win against a tough Franklin Nomads team. That team, they've had, I think, a couple, I don't want to say down seasons, but definitely rebuilding seasons. But they're definitely back in form and going to give the Horde and the rest of the teams in these Overwatch brackets a run for their money when it comes time for NAF. So happy to see the Nomads and Shogun and the rest of the Franklin teams, as well as everybody else. The level of competition's getting really good, so a lot of fun to watch. So thanks for tuning into our stream, and we'll see you next time. Take care.